You just take us through this Guernsey. I reckon it looks great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. My auntie designed it. I love it. The colours are good. The ganga in the middle means crow in our language, the Werribee language from the far west, Ceduna, Port Lincoln. Yeah, it's really good. I'm glad my auntie did it. When the club asked me, I think it was at the end of last year, they said, would you like to design a jumper? And I said, yeah, my auntie's an artist, and gave her a call and she said, I would love to design it. And here we are now.
Is it special to be able to have that connection to the Guernsey with your through your family?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, my auntie's a very, very special, talented artist, and, you know, like I said, when the club asked me to design this jersey, I said, yeah, I gave her a call and she said, I'd love to, and knowing that she designed it, it'll be very special to run out with this on the weekend.
What about Indigenous Round itself and what it means to Indigenous players?
Yeah, it's a fantastic round. You know, it's a round that I would love to play in, other than the grand final, if we make the grand final. But if you ask all the other Indigenous guys around the league, this is one of the games that they would love to play in. And you know, yeah, it's very special. You learn a lot about it. I mean, all the other jerseys around the league, it's a different story, different artist, and you learn a lot about it, which I'm still learning as well.
With the, it's become a lot easier for Indigenous players to play in the big league these days, but what about those from remote communities? Is it still as hard for them to acclimatise and stay with clubs?
A little bit, yeah, I guess so. In saying that, like when I got to Carlton in my early days, I only talked to Indigenous players, so it's always good to have an Indigenous role model at the club where these young kids, they come in. For example, here at the Adelaide Footy Club, my house is open to all the young Indigenous boys there. You know, they're around, I think 3 or 4 times a week having dinner. So I just want to, you know, make them feel at home and not homesick. So I guess some kids do get homesick and go back home and miss family. And it's a hard environment to live. You know, you grow up in a community with all your brothers and sisters, and you know, you don't want to leave them, and you just got to make that commitment to move away from family to the big city.
I was thinking of the likes of, I think it was Amos Franks at Hawthorn, ones who even English isn't their first language, must find it even more difficult. Yeah,
it was, and you know, I think Amos was from the remote communities. You know, I watched a documentary on him when he was playing in the grand final. There was a donkey running on the oval. They were dodging donkeys. So yeah, it's like I said, it's important to have that Indigenous role model at the club that makes it a lot easier for these young Indigenous kids to come settle in.
Do you enjoy that role? Do you embrace being that mentor?
I do. You know, I'm loving it. My wife actually helps me a lot. We've got 2 young boys, and you know, I hear it a lot that you help these young kids out a lot, but what you don't know is they help me a lot. You know, because I've got 2 kids. We've got no really family here. My wife's from Victoria, and they babysit for us, change nappies. Yeah, they help us more than what we help them.
What's easier, getting a kick or looking after a youngster changing nappies?
Well, these days, if you're playing 4 pocket, it'll be changing nappies because it's hard to get a kick. Yeah, but you know, I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest.
How much does that relationship you drive with the youngsters help them become better footballers and turn into success on the field?
Well, like I said, I just want to make it more relaxed for them, so they feel at home, so they come in and not be shy, and they open up to me, they open up to my wife Anna, and you know, and for Charlie, for example, he came over, he didn't eat his vegetables, so we had to hide vegetables and meat for him and get him to eat his vegetables, and now he's, you know, playing some good footy. You know, he moved out, he's living with his partner Sari, so yeah, it's great. I love doing it.
Eddie, where do you think the AFL's at in terms of recognising and understanding Indigenous culture, and has it progressed since you first started playing?
Yeah, it has, heaps actually. You know, just I still think that we could get better at it, better understanding at it, because I'm still learning as well. Like I said before, just you know, looking at all the other different jerseys, there's always different stories, different tribes. There's thousands of tribes around Australia, Indigenous tribes. So you learn a lot from it. And I think if you don't know much about Indigenous culture, tune in this week because it's a fantastic week to learn about Indigenous culture.
In terms of the game itself, the Giants, are you surprised at how good they've become, and how do you counter them?
They're absolutely flying at the moment. Yeah, so we've just got to stop their run. They love to move the ball quick. And yeah, no one would have thought 3 years ago that they're sitting on I think they're second now, and they're almost flag favourites. So we've got to stop their run. They're a young, hard-running side, and we've got to come out and play our way. And hopefully, we get 55,000 Crow fans there screaming, and we can put them off and hopefully kick some goals.
How about you, Eddie, playing a bit further up the ground? I've seen you dish off a few more balls in front of goals than you normally would. A different role for you?
Not really. If playing as a forward pocket, it's probably one of the hardest positions on the ground. So I've got to try and get myself up, get myself involved, and I like passing the ball off. I like seeing the enjoyment of other guys kick the goals. And like our forward line, we've got a even contribution at our forward line. Big Texan's back on fire. He's kicked 5 on a weekend. So it's great. Like I said, I love passing goals off.
Is it hard to find the balance between making sure that you've kicked enough and keeping yourself fed and making sure that the boys are looked after too?
No, not really. I know if I'm tackling, chasing, putting the pressure on, that's my role. The goals will come after that, and if I dish them off, I dish them off. So, yeah, I'll try kick some this week, hey? See how we go.
What kind of confidence does it bring to the club to see Tex up and about?
Yeah, it does bring a lot of confidence, but as you don't know, that Tex has been playing his role each week. He's creating contests, he's bringing it to ground for us little guys. So we're pretty happy with the way he's going, even though he's not kicking goals. But it was great to see him bag 5 on the weekend, and hopefully he can do it again.